Lexapro, and I might just take a trip down to Mexico. Even though I'm broke as shit, I'm on the patio.
Saddy Daddy-O is the biggest song that I've written so far. It's been streamed over 8 million times on Spotify. It was actually featured as #1 on iTunes Comedy for both single and album. So the first thing I did when making the song was I just went hunting through my older song files I made back when I was making regular EDM music. And there was a drum sample that I remembered that I was working with in another song that I always really liked. It was like this crunchy sort of dancing drum sample that didn't have like a lot of inherent kick drum to it. It was sort of like up at the very top. It almost made you feel like, you know, someone getting ready to like dance on one of those like cardboard pads on the street. So in order to find the bass line, I booted up one of my favorite synth plugins. It's called Massive. It's from the Native Instruments collection. And the preset that I worked with was Woodstock, and it has kind of this really thick sound here. So I put an arpeggiator on it, and I put the rate at 1/8, and I made it so that it bounces softly, and then it goes up one, right? So it goes dunk, 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 dunk. So then I did what I usually do. I just kind of played the drum sample while I played around on the keys with the arpeggiator to just kind of find what the melody was going to be. I booted up the vocal chain that I specifically made for the Chaos project. It's one that I'd been working on for years, but when my original song Incompetence took off, it was the first time that I was kind of showcasing this kind of vocal style. The idea of like possession came to mind. I always envisioned the Chaos universe being one where there was sort of like this kind of spirit of truth-telling, or the spirit of honesty. And so this vocal chain was supposed to kind of sound like a ghost had been locked and trapped inside of a machine, and it was speaking through like an organic human with like real experiences, and people really seem to resonate with that sound.
Just went to the doctor to talk about my head, about the way I'm feeling, that I wish that I was dead. My life is getting heavy and it's taking such a toll, so I stopped to get a coffee that's darker than my soul.
So right about this point, I started looking for my kick drums. So the drum sample was great, but it didn't really actually have a beat with it. So I started looking for kick drums to kind of bring in once the intro had sort of ended, to really give the song the kind of dance punch that it needed. My favorite plugin to use right now is Battery 4. It's another plugin from Native Instruments. It comes with a lot of kits that I actually find really useful. I, of course, have like my own folders of different kits and samples that I use, but for this one, the stock kit called Into House had a nice clean open hi-hat. And I didn't add a snare or anything because I actually liked the snare that was inside the original drum sample from the intro. So I just felt that by adding a kick drum and some hi-hats to the top of the layer would actually bring them all together.
Just went to the doctor to talk about my head, about the way I'm feeling, that I wish that I was dead.
So a couple different songs inspired the chorus for Saddy Daddy-O, one of which was Goodbye by Glenn Morrison. I always really enjoyed the word Mexico inside that song. It was an interesting sort of, I don't know, there was something just phonetically about Mexico. I like the syllables of it, I like the crispness of it, and it just so happens to rhyme with Lexapro. So that like a Sudoku puzzle, I knew that those two pieces were the first two lines. So the first line would be, I'm on the Lexapro, and I might just take a trip down to Mexico. A lot of writing these Chaos songs has to do with just like listening and remembering things that you've heard people say or things that I've felt myself. And so I wanted to mention in this song the idea of just like buying things, of like, oh, this is a cool thing. I'm gonna buy myself a bunch of stuff to make myself feel better. So that I then wrote, I'm on the patio and I'm buying things online, which went away from the old rhyming scheme and brought in a new one, and then just saying Saddy Daddy-O just to feel like I'm alive. So that it just, to me, that whole chorus went full circle. You know, it starts with the medication, but it's not about the medication. I'm doing everything I can to feel alive. So I recorded that chorus that I wrote with the same vocal chain that I used for the first verse, and we got this.
I'm on the Lexapro, and I might just take a trip.
And then I recorded a harmony to go with it.
I'm on the Lexapro, and I might just take a trip.
I then routed the chorus that I had recorded through the vocoder, and you got this. So once we had the chorus laid out, I started looking for that synth to kind of layer with the chorus line. So the preset I used was Festival Lead, one of the more basic presets within one of the more basic plugins. And I did add a couple of things. I added some stereo delay. I twisted a couple of knobs to kind of change it. I like to start with a preset and then start making changes to the knob to try to discover like a slight variation that no one else has found before, so that it makes your sound be a little bit less predictable. And so when you put all of that together, you get this chorus.
I'm on the Lexapro, and I might just take a trip down to Mexico. Even though I'm broke as shit, I'm on the patio, and I'm buying things online at Saddy Daddy-O, just to feel like I'm alive.
The second verse of this thing, I literally just tried to stuff it with as many references as either I had or experiences that people had told me about. So I had a graphic designer who was obsessed with Dr. Pepper. It was like her emotional support drink. I had another friend who used to refer to their trips to the hospital as their grippy sock vacations.
From the first moment that I'm waking up till I go to bed, I'm just sad as fuck. I got 12 pairs of blue grippy socks, drinking Dr. Pepper and it's on the rocks. And my friends tell me that I'm unwell. And by friends, I mean I'm by myself. It's just me and my inner thoughts, and I promise you that they're no help.
This is why I love writing so much, because I cannot tell you how many messages I've gotten from people saying, how did you know I got blue grippy socks? Now, whenever you're doing any kind of song that has to do with mental health, you always run the risk of like making fun of the actual illness. The joy of this song is that it's trying to embrace who this character is and other people who feel this way. So the last part that I did for this was the kind of outro singing part. Now, I did this in one take. I had to cut out one section because I kind of bumped into the mic really hard, and it made kind of a clicking sound. But other than that, it was all one take.
I'm a Saddy Daddy-O. I'm a Saddy Daddy-O. I'm a Saddy Daddy-O.
So there you have it, Saddy Daddy-O, the biggest song from my chaos comedy project, a song that brought me not only a bunch of new fans, but it also taught me a lot about songwriting and about how to handle very difficult subjects and making them more relatable and making it something that makes people feel very comfortable. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you'll subscribe and hit that little bell so you can keep up to date with all my future videos. If you'd like to see more behind the scenes of my chaos comedy universe, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell so that you can keep up with all my uploads. And make sure you check out my album Chaos, which is available in all streaming platforms, and the CD is available in my store. Link down in the description. See you next time.